Hey, what's up, guys? I finished my Anavar cycle, which was a 6 week cycle, 2 weeks ago to, to this day. And I wanted to just in this video cover uh, the withdrawal symptoms I've had since then because I have had some. And it was mostly during the first week. It was mostly during the first 4 days when I really noticed uh, a downfall in my energy levels and emotional kind of stability, if you want to call it that. When I first went off it, it was a bit rough actually. Nothing too crazy, but the example I gave in my last video, I was at my parents' house for dinner and we had a bit of like a discussion about something, and I got a bit more emotionally reactive than I normally would. Normally, I'm a pretty chill guy, and I noticed that like I was a bit on edge and it was creating there's a bit of anxiety from going up when I went off it. And since then, I just want to give an update. That was like a week and a half ago, that now that is totally gone. So if you're expecting, like if you're doing Anavar and you want to know what coming off it is like, expect something like that where in the first week it'll be down and then come back up. And I just want to say, as far as my workout's concerned, maybe there was a bit of a down in that first few days as well, but whatever down I had is totally back up. And to be honest, my bench press compared to before I started Anavar and now after 2 weeks is better than it was before I started it, which means I retained some type of strength still, if that makes sense. Because while I was on it, I was training mostly squats, bench press, pull ups. That's the major compound movements I was doing. I was doing a lot of other movements as well, accessories, and like flies and reverse flies, and obviously curls and tricep extensions and things. But my major thing that I wanted to improve was bench press and squats. Squats was the big one. And then the other day when I did my leg day exercise, I was hitting pretty much PR, and that's 2 weeks after finishing my cycle, which means that I retained something. And that's kind of what I wanted to say in this video, which is normally I've heard anyway, when you go off something like a testosterone cycle or whatnot, that you lose your gains that while you're on it. That's why people who are on it, like I even watched this one guy, I won't say his name, but he's a bodybuilder, and he recommends if you go on something, stay on something, because when you go off it, if you're just cycling it, you're just going to lose your gains. It's not worth it, right? But I want to say in this video that it was worth it. That being said, it wasn't significant gains. It wasn't like I was making like lifting 50% more than I was before. I'm going to say it's around 10% I retained so far. Now, maybe I'll lose that within a month. I doubt it. But nonetheless, I made 10% gains even when I went off it. So that is something that I think should be noted in all of this. It's not something that I've seen anybody cover, especially with Anavar. People recommend taking Anavar only cycles when they want to get their feet wet in anabolics, which was exactly what I was doing. I might want to do testosterone in the near future. We'll see. I have done HGH in the past if you follow my videos for some time. And HGH is something that was good, but like it wasn't like the gains were as significant as taking a proper anabolic. I'll just put it that way. But it was good, especially for what I was doing, which, if you don't know, I was taking HGH for more of old injuries in my joints, in my legs, in my knees, in my ankles from years of skateboarding. And it was giving me a lot of issues, especially when I'm doing running or weightlifting, things like that. Like when I was doing knee extensions, sometimes my knee hurt. So I did the HGH only cycle for 3 months, and I think it really helped. Around 3 to 4 IUs a day. And that's something I might want to go back in the future. But the strength gains were nowhere close to what I got with Anavar, and I'm sure that's nowhere close to what you would get if you did a proper testosterone cycle, and I'm sure that's not as good as if you did like testosterone plus DECA cycle or primobolan cycle, right? So that's kind of what the whole purpose of this video is 2 weeks off taking it. What am I noticing? First of all, I'm totally back to normal, whatever normal is. But yeah, that first little bit, that first few days, 4 days, I want to call it, was kind of a bit rough in some regards. Nothing too crazy. I think that's why people recommend taking Anavar as that first only cycle, because the side effects aren't that bad. You're not going to get gyno and some of the androgynous effects, but you do get total anabolic effects. So what am I thinking about doing is going off it for 6 weeks. I'm already off it for 2, so I'll wait another month-ish. Maybe I'll wait till the new year or just before, and then go on it again and continue from there. I'm glad I did it. But the question I ask myself is risk versus reward. Yeah, I got a bit of reward, but was the risk worth it? Did I damage my kidneys or my liver in the process? Something to be taken into consideration. I think if you're a healthy person overall, it's not going to be the worst thing. But nonetheless, for that little bit of gains, lifting that extra 10 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever it is, to your lifts, adding those extra few reps to your lifts, is that worth it? That's a question I'm even asking myself. But overall, the gains are still there, and the gains have been retained, which is the most important thing. So I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Peace.